What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here, and today we're talking about Visions of Mana because Square Enix, the developers, just released a surprise demo for the game itself that is shockingly big. This has multiple zones, a very cool final boss fight, a lot of cool side quests and upgrades, but most importantly, it gives us a chance to see the completely new style of gameplay and that delicious new combat. But let's discuss. Hi, hope you're having a great day. If you could please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, Visions of Mana is coming to the PlayStation, to Xbox, and to PC, and all this gameplay is from the Steam demo. Let's talk about the singular gripe I have just to start with, which is that for whatever reason, this game runs incredibly bad. I had a chance to talk to some of my other friends, and I definitely have a pretty strong PC, but for whatever reason, there was a lot of frame rate drops. Even in like cutscenes and stuff, it just seemed like it was not running completely smooth, but maybe it'll be cleaned up when it comes out next month. So when I started to play this, I have to admit that I was completely impressed by the fact that this still feels like the old school games. This is the first new Mana game we've gotten in 15 years. We've had some like ports and remakes and stuff like that, but this is the first time we're getting a true sequel in over a decade, but it still has the exact vibe of the old school games. It's still extremely colorful. It's still so chipper and bright. It still feels like a really cool, extremely freaking awesome freaking fairy tale. I mean, there's no other way to say it. But let me start things off by talking about this combat because I am definitely in love with this already. So there is a system called elemental vessels. When you're playing this, you do have a strong attack and a fast attack and the ability to like dodge roll and stuff like that. But the main part of this that you need to know about is these elemental vessels. They're essentially an ability to channel particular types. Now in this demo, we have access to two of them, the elements of the moon and the elements of the wind. Now, when you use this, the moon controls time, which means that if you use this in a fight, it will completely pretty much stop the enemies in their tracks, allowing you to do some very devious combos or cast a lot of bigger, longer cast time magic. But if you use the elements of moon outside of combat, it lets you do stuff like slow down time while trying to cross a river so you can jump on big ice patches. There's also the element of wind that allows you to use blasts of air currents to knock back enemies or toss people up in the air and do really cool heavy hitting combos. I have to say, this feels incredibly cool because this is on top of the more typical RPG style element system. Like if you throw a bunch of fire magic at an enemy that's made of ice, of course that's going to do some heavy freaking hits. I like the fact that clearly there's going to be multiple layers of systems all stacked on top. And while I was playing this game, going through these two zones, I really like the fact that everything feels so incredibly open. These open zones, the fact that it's not just straight up freeform. It's very neat to me that there is just this contained focus element to it where because these aren't truly open worlds, it feels like every part of the map has some sort of secret. Using your mount to jump up like a ledge, you could find something like a treasure chest, or if you're just trying to help out a random villager who's asking you to kill some monsters so he can get home and stuff like that, sometimes you'll find a random extra hidden area or a new unlock or a new upgrade and stuff like that. It feels cool the fact that every part of this feels rewarding, which is such a nice sense to it. But I do think that some people are probably going to find this to be a bit slimmed down. Like, if you're looking for a game that's going to be brutally difficult with crazy 10-phase boss fights that's going to completely crush your face, I think these are more casual focused RPGs. They're about a bunch of friends going on a friendly adventure and making some cool memories. Now in this game, you're trying to get to the Mana Tree and you're playing as these people called the Alms. They're like these special sort of like spiritual emissaries trying to get there as part of a pilgrimage. but everybody just seems so incredibly happy. All their encounters are fun, the voice acting is very silly. It very much feels like a 90s anime in that way, and I kind of dig that vibe. I feel like there's just so many games that are so incredibly dark and extra serious that I like the fact that Visions of Mana updates its combat, it updates its gameplay, while still trying to preserve that 90s vibe to it. Like, the action focus, though, I think that this combat system, it still feels incredibly satisfying. I really like the fact that while going through this, it still manages to feel like the older games like Secret of Mana and Final Fantasy Adventure, which was technically one of the Mana games, and Dawn of Mana and stuff like that. But while it's coming back to it, I think it's cool that it definitely tries to give you all the tools to experiment. There's just such a sense of charm. The fact that there's like a low stakes adventure where you can just kind of sit there and admire the countryside or ride your gigantic wolf mount and just check out different little hidden spots or stare at a waterfall and stuff like that. The fact that this is still coming out, I'm still surprised it's not coming to the Nintendo Switch. I mean, I guess it's just that it's too big to run on the Switch, but man, this needs to come to the Nintendo Switch 2 or whatever it ends up being called, because man, does it look incredibly good. Now, during the course of this, I do think that it's nice that it is just such a light-hearted adventure. I do kind of wonder how much people are going to enjoy this, because it does seem like it is primarily focused at existing fans that kind of know what they're getting into, but I'm kind of glad they gave us this demo, because I definitely say try it for yourself, because this is the kind of game that I don't think is for everybody. You gotta be kind of in the mood for like a goofy, like sort of silly, off-the-cuff, charming adventure instead of like a super heavy tone one. I think this is the kind of game where you sit there, you partially turn off your brain, you do some combos, you land some special jump attacks like that, and then find like a cool sword or something like that. I think this is cool, especially that final boss fight against the Kraken. I dig it, but I'm definitely ready to see more. Because this demo is just like 45 minutes long, even if you do some of the side stuff, I kind of feel like it's hard to tell exactly how much the story is going to be deep. The voice acting is a bit goofy. The characters are just such silly archetypes. There's like a dark, brooding, serious guy who's just happy to be here and help us defeat our enemies. And then there's like the main characters and his, like, I think girlfriend, and they're super like, yay, we're on an adventure, yay. I don't know. I think I like the fact that it's got like this definite retro simplicity. It definitely feels like the kind of game that's not trying to break the mold. It's trying to keep the existing fans happy while hopefully being approachable to newcomers. Try the demo for yourself, but just off-the-cuff impressions, it's nice. It's not really completely going to be everybody's cup of tea, but me, as a person that grew up with Mana, it's cool to see the visions of the future through it. But well, tell me your thoughts in the comments down below, and please, if you could, give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and please keep dreaming. I'm recording this video at literally 11 p.m., so if I sound a bit tired, it's because I'm, well, honestly, it's because I am tired. But I love you guys very much. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, you know, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.